Well, hello, children of the night, and welcome to Tarot Nights with the Hanged Empress. This week we have a full supermoon coming up in Aries, and it is the final supermoon of this cycle. I've been talking about it this whole time. Now I have confirmation. I have done the research. I have looked back. Supermoons do, in fact, come in groups of threes. Once a year you get a set of full super moons and a set of new supermoons. But what's different about this particular set that we have is the mirror effect of epigee and perigee, and that's the dramatic thing that I've been talking about this whole time. So if you go back from December of last year into February of this year was our first set of 3 supermoons, and they were super new moons that came in with a pairing of micro full moons. When you have a micro moon, the moon is the farthest away that it possibly can be, and when you have a super moon, it is as close as it can possibly be. The epigee and perigee do not typically line up in a way where you would have the moon moving as far as it possibly could go and then coming as close as it possibly could in a matter of 2 weeks. That's not common. That's not normal. That's weird, actually. So, this being our final supermoon coming up from the micro moon and then leading up into our next month of moons where we have a pair of eclipses to close out this whole big cycle once and for all, for really, yeah, it's crazy, interesting, neat energy. Really love it. Hey, look, I tiraded a little bit longer, getting into some astrology with you guys. Just a little bit. No professional am I, but I'm learning, I'm growing. We all are. And as I said, I feel like it's very much related to these dramatic moons that we've had this cycle, this year. Everything that we've been going through is just transformation after transformation. I'm not the same person I was when I started this. Guarantee you aren't either. If you really look at it, if you really, you have those mornings you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm somebody else now. I'm a better, stronger version of who I used to be, and it's beautiful. It's awesome. It's so much fun. So, getting into this full supermoon, it's in Aries, and it is, again, our final stages of this dramatic growth process that we've been going through. So, it's kind of nice that it's ending in our head, which is where Aries rules. It's in our heads. This is us being strong in our minds, strong in our determination, strong in our decisions, walking your talk, being that person that you said you were going to be. That is the general energy for this Aries full supermoon that's coming up. And I am just so excited to get into it with you guys. So, yeah, let's get into it. Let's go do our reads. Well, hey there, Scorpio. I'm just kind of doing an intuitive, winging it kind of thing this full moon here. Honestly, Aries, I feel right in my head. I feel confident in whatever comes out. I don't need to control it. I don't need to stress it. That's just the vibe I'm riding, so how you doing? Yeah, can't even pull anything from anybody's reads 2 weeks ago from my own memory. It's fine. I'm gonna do stories to tell, don't we? Well, that certainly is deep and aggressive, is it not? Seven and 5 swords. The way the 2 came out even, I don't know if you can actually catch on the bottom, the sword here and the sword here, they're actually pointing at each other. Somebody clearly cheated to gain the upper hand to defeat somebody. with the Ten of Pentacles on the top of the deck. In the home. Hi, Scorpio. How are you doing? It's Tears Day. So it's like, oh, it's kind of aggressive, but you know, Scorpio will be fine. Sorry, it's that Mars energy. We're cool. We're cool. We're getting into it, aren't we? Okay. Alright. I'm just going to read it like I see it, and it is what it is. This is affecting your home space. This is affecting your Ten of Pentacles. This is affecting what you have built, what you have created. We're beating each other up. Mentally, emotionally, physically. We're sneaking around. We're saying nasty things about each other. There's just a lot of toxicity in this house. There's toxicity in the house. Do you remember that Virgo new moon? We were talking about this, I remember at least. We were talking about how we have to expel that toxic waste so it doesn't build up. Nine Swords. Fell into my lap. I can't twist this or bend this in any way that's not malicious, aggressive. It's fear-inducing. This is causing nightmares, waking nightmares. This is the stuff that you always feared. I'm literally just picking up like this is like the, you know how a lot of people didn't have great upbringings, didn't have great homes, families, had their problems. This feels like you are reliving the horrors of your childhood, making your parents' relationship into your own. Three Swords on the deck. Now we have a Seven of Pentacles in your overall energy. There's no other way to read this, Scorpio. I present this to another reader. Take out my words and just focus on the cards. It's deep. Send it. End it. Take a cleansing breath with me, Scorpios. Just fill up your lungs all the way up and hold it. And just let it all out. Take a breath. Scorpios. You Scorpios, you go way, way down into the deepest depths of human emotions. Take a real deep breath. It's not swords coming out. That is another seven. We've seen 3 sevens now. 7 of Wands. There's definitely another 7 in there somewhere. Okay. Six Cups, 8 Pentacles, and 3 Wands. Oh, okay. Pick up your memories. Pick up your golden memories, your cherished memories from this relationship, and use those aspects to continue to rebuild your spirit. I'm not saying to keep putting yourself through this toxic situation. What I am saying is right now you are so backed up on all of this toxicity that's been building and growing and festering in your scope right now that what you really need to do is just take a little step back, retreat, go to your parents' house for a couple of days or months to get your life back together. Whatever it is that you need to do, pick out those golden cups. That's the message out of this. Is you have some emotional support in your life. It may not be the options, the choices that you want to be utilizing, but if they're made of gold and that water is clean, drink it. Drink from those cups and use the vitality from these simple, meager cups to rebuild your spirit and start getting things together for something new. Start manifesting. This isn't the Magician card. This isn't but this Three of Wands does just have he's picking up sticks and utilizing them to his best advantage. He has enough knowledge and understanding of the mystical power of these sticks that he has collected to actually manifest something for himself, to create something, to draw something in to his scope, to his perspective. Keep it guarded too. And just look back on that guard as I picked up the deck. Started shuffling right away, but keep that part guarded too. Those golden cups, those helpful outlets that you have. Hold on tightly to those right now, because again, that's the thing that's going to help you to rebuild and reestablish yourself in spirit. And from that rebuilding time that you take, that is where you will get your fire back. You will get your will to make again, your will to create again. There's that Seven Pentacles, but now we're on the opposite side of it. Yeah, that happened back there. That absolutely 100% did happen back there. I don't feel like anybody really won or lost in this. The redness of this card kind of dampens that victory. Any victories that anybody won in this, it wasn't worth the bloodshed, is kind of how I feel about the Six of Wands right now. I don't know if they're, on paper you might be able to say that there was a winner and a loser in this situation, but it feels like way too much blood was shed for either side to truly be satisfied with this end. And I'm not even seeing an end here, but I'm implying it. Take that. Do whatever you will with that, but this isn't even like I would expect to see a hermit card out here or something like that. But this is not a retreat kind of vibe. This is standing your ground, standing strong, pulling together what you can, and not falling completely to the ground. You're not dead. You've been beaten to your knees. You're not dead. You're not laying on the ground. This ain't no 10 of swords or nothing like that. Right? You just been knocked to your knees. That's not the worst position to be in. Sometimes you do need to be humbled. Sometimes life needs to humble you. It ain't fun. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes it. It's never fun, but it is a lesson to be learned for every human being on here. The hermit did just show his face just a little bit. Thank you for at least, like, giving me that. Because it is a little bit introspective. Like, I would examine this, would be my personal advice to you. Again, it's not direct card advice, but, like, just take notes. The Virgo always wants to take notes. That way you can refer back. But really, this is more action than anything. And it's not even, like, it's action and not reaction. Take action, don't react to these things. And when life hands you this, when life gives you this hand, in the game of life, when you get this dealt to you, don't react to this. Take action. Take steps in the correct direction. Clearly, this was the wrong direction, so resource, reconfigure, rebalance. This is Libra season now. Get yourself into balance. Get yourself into a like somewhat stable position and plan right now, because we're locking in for the rest of the season. So that's my advice for you, Scorpios. That's what I got. Good luck out there in this full moon. Just keep your head strong. Keep yourself together. We're gonna give you a Halloween oracle. A little festive fun, so get into it. Oh, Scorpios. I'm gonna end up with a malevolence and benevolence, I think, at some point here. I don't know if I can even continue with my readings until I do this, because even though I'm very displeased with the taste, it's coming up. I also don't want to lose it, because I do want to catch it for you. It's just demon vibes. Just some demon vibes. It's fine. No, there's like like I said, it's a very toxic, heavy thing, and it was just kind of like creeping up through the whole thing, and now I feel spiritually sick. So we're gonna pull out malevolence and benevolence for you. It's gonna happen. But for right now, let's pull this one together, and we'll get you your oracle card for this full moon. Not taking 3. Don't be greedy, Scorpio. You're going to get a whole other video. So you get 2 for this moon. So, just about one more. Maybe I can't give you an oracle yet, till I get your malevolence and benevolence in order. Yeah. Okay, Scorpios. Tune in. Halloween Oracle also says that they want to work with malevolence and benevolence. So, if this is hitting for you in a direct, particular way, or not just cross-watching, reviewing casually, or whatever, if this is like real deal stuff, we're gonna do a whole other show for you. It's the side show. So, tune in. Malevolence and benevolence will be here with you shortly. Until then, have a fantastic moon, Scorpios. Thank you so much for coming out. Hello, kitties, and welcome to the decks of Malevolence and Benevolence. These cards are their own show. They only come out for special occasions when we get a vibe, a particular feeling. We're going to call it demonic energy. It's what it is. It's what it feels like. I don't want you to be too freaked out by the word demon. Here, the perspective is oil and salt. These things have their purpose. They have their place. That doesn't make them good or bad. They have their own agendas. They have their own things that they do. And when I get this vibe, when we have a lot of toxicity, a lot of that negative stuff coming up, it feels like a spiritual sickness. It starts right in the ego, right in the solar plexus, and it kind of creeps up, and you kind of feel like you're going to throw up, but you're not sick. Not really. It's just your spiritual reaction to this particular flavor of energies. So that's why we have these decks. That's why we pull them out when we need them. We're doing shadow work, obviously. Sometimes we're going to trip and trigger things that are deep-rooted, darkly influenced energies. And that is kind of the way that I view demons. I've never seen anybody possessed by a demon, but I have seen people influenced by demonic energies. And that in itself, like, the idea of possession really kind of takes your own personal accountability out of the equation, because you say, like, oh, a demon took over my body. It wasn't me who did all those terrible, horrible things. It couldn't have ever been me. It was this demon. But from my perspective, it seems more like the demon is just influencing a person to act in their own dark nature, and that puts all of the accountability back on you. And that's the way magic works, after all. So, if you are feeling these energies, just remember that you still have a choice in this. You can choose to not participate in these thoughts and feelings that are bubbling up inside of you. You can choose to do something different, and that is why we bring out angels and demons in these particular situations, because that is a language that people understand, and we're going to communicate. So, first off, my dear Scorpios, you have been called by these cards. We've got some very toxic situations going on in our home space, in that place that we thought that we were going to be settled forever, and everything was going to be hunky-dory, happily ever after. Didn't go that way. We have some positive messages, some good things that were going on in the read as well. There are definitely people that you can lean on emotionally and physically and spiritually, and you have the ability to build yourself back from this situation. But what we're going to do is, first we're going to call in a couple of angels. An angel, sometimes more than one, comes out to guide us, to watch over our read as we continue, and then we're going to get into the demons, and then we'll pull out some more angels, and it's a whole thing. It's fun. Let's get into it. Should have been shuffling these, but chit chat, the whole story, whole shebang. These guys haven't come out very often yet. These cards are so pretty. I'm just like terrified to bend them. It's gorgeous. Gold lining on them. Beautiful cards. Sitting here chit-chatting. Not focusing on bringing in the energies, am I? They're coming in. I like to start with the angels, even though it's the demons that are screaming for my attention. I should probably do a reverse, for these as well. It's a good idea. I like it. But yes, we're coming at it from different scopes. So, pulling in from the higher after touching some dark depths. There. Nanael, God humiliating the proud. This angel is of spiritual communication, influences religious men, teachers, and men of law. Just trying to pick up some vibes from this card. He's a Ten of Wands. I haven't seen him too much. Ooh. He's card number 53. I like that number. See if I can get a little bit more on him. Nanael rules over high sciences and is able to influence religious men, teachers, magistrates, and men of law. These are not super in-depth. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of getting from this, is an angel to watch over court proceedings. I said that there weren't cards calling for, like, spelling out ends or anything like that, but, like, maybe the reason we're not calling out an end is because, like, the real end is going to take time, take process. It's going to need to be watched over by an angel because it's going to be a whole process. Actually, this is a perfectly fitting time to get into my analogy that I have recently been developing in my Each One Teach One class. So, when you are in a situation that you have been developing, say a home situation that you've been developing, and it's been restrictive, it's been challenging for you the entire time. It's kind of the equivalent of like foot binding, or when women put the rings around their necks and then stretch their necks up. So they have these like really long necks. They are mangling themselves. They are they are effectively destroying their bodies willingly, doing this to themselves. And if you get to a point where you are so uncomfortable that you just can't do it anymore, you can't just rip off all of those rings from your neck if you have stretched it for years and years and years of time. Your neck will break. Your neck will break, and you will die. It's just the way it is. And that is a metaphor for the reality of the situation. If you have been in a marriage type situation and you have intermingled your lives and you've just been so tight-knit this whole time, you have been creating these restraints around your neck, and you can't just separate all of that all at once. It's going to have to be a process. You're going to have to take off bit by bit, let the muscles regrow, readjust, adapt back down to a normal stature. And I don't know if you can ever be completely normal after something like this, but you can at least, get back to a reasonable, supportive, self-sustaining position, So, thank you, Nanael, for coming out and watching over us. This is, again, a very literal read. This is very direct, very pointed. This is not general. I can't spin this for everybody. This means something. This is real. So, if we are in, we are in. Let's bring in those demons. Let's call them out. Let's see what's really fucking us over right now. Shall we? Barith, Two of Pentacles. Nasty little thing. Oh, these cards are not easy to see. I guess I got my lighting a little bit better. But the Venus card. Okay, so Two of Pentacles aside, the thing that's pulling out the most for me out of this demon is that Venus, that balance, that scales. That's the interpretation in here, even, is equilibrium. So the balance of the scales in love, that's kind of a even matched perfect weight here. Honestly, putting them toe to toe. Dark versus light, right versus wrong. Don't ever forget to account for the rule of 3. There is also yourself, of your highest self, of your lowest self, of their highest self, of their lowest self. In between sits your meat suit. That is the you that is here right now, navigating these lessons, these experiences in life. You are the deciding factor. You are the judge in your own life. Which side you give power to is the side that will win. Remember that you are magic. Your thoughts will manifest. So again, rather than focusing in and allowing the weight of these dark and negative influences that we have here, rather than letting that weight pull us down to the depths, let's gather the few cups that we have, the little bit of spirit that we have left, and put it to work for our highest good, for our best purpose. Oh, they have you there. So simple for such a potent energy. But I don't want to get into your legal battle. That's in the future, right? We'll get into that later. I'm sure we'll pull cards for it. Sorry, guys. Alright, do we have another angel even? No, I don't. They're perfectly balanced today. Not that they don't eventually come out, even, pretty even. No, they've come out a little bit, one-sided or weighted more on the other one side or another before, but usually I have to do a whole war with these guys. They really fight it out on the table here for me, but they're not doing that today. It's cut and dry. It's very simple. You know what to do. Like I said in the original source here, the original video. Hopefully you went back and saw that first. If you're just catching this and you're like, what the heck's going on? You can get a little bit more in depth with our full moon Scorpio read that called such drama to the table. But we are in perfect balance. We have 3 cards under the weight of this legal battle on each side. The 3, 4, and 4. We're evenly matched. Dark versus light, right versus wrong. Don't forget to weigh it on the mortal scale. Beautiful. Fantastic. Alright. I think we can get into our oracle now. We're going to do a Halloween oracle. We did it for Pisces. We might as well give everybody a little Halloweenies. It's fall season. I got them. Why not? I think we got it all out on the table now. I feel better. Do you feel better? Like, my whole energy has lifted. Like, just having the understanding of what this is. Because, like, I'm just walking into this blind. I'm pulling cards and, like, hearing things in my head. Like, what the fuck is going on, right? No, I feel good. I feel good. Halloween oracle for our harvest season, for the end of the summer. What do we have for Scorpios? We've got a long journey ahead. Let's give them a good message. Barmbrack. Sweetness and synergy. Sweetness and synergy. Does that not, like, the words that I just said? I can't even pronounce that word, but... A pea, a cloth, a coin, a ring, and a stick. Within a loaf of speckled sweetness, slice it and eat it. A glimpse of my fate's completeness. Not quite a cake, and not quite a bread. Barmbrack is a sweet loaf, larger than a typical bread loaf, baked with flour, sugar, salt, and dried fruits such as raisins. The making of barmbrack is an Irish tradition that still stands around Samhain. The person baking the loaf would be sure to set the intention for love, truth, and synergy whilst preparing. Inside the dough, a number of special objects are hidden and baked into the loaf. The objects are used as a kind of random oracle. Each one has a particular meaning which represents the fate of the person who found it in their slice. The traditional objects include a coin, a pea, a stick, a ring, and a small piece of cloth like muslin. Some other additions made in more modern times were religious medals. Should your slice of brack contain a coin, this would indicate prosperity and good luck. The pea unfortunately meant no marriage would occur for you that year, yet finding the ring meant marriage was certain. The stick, to be avoided at all costs, indicated disputes and unhappiness, and finding the cloth meant bad luck and little money ahead. When you pull the barmbrack card, it indicates a curiosity to know what is ahead, but it's important to balance that with the now. After all, we have the tools to change our future should we choose. The sweet synergy of the barmbrack, all the ingredients, including the objects, are more complete and powerful together than they are individually. Should encourage you to seek your own sweet spot. Yeah. Cherish the sweet moments in life. Hold the memories in your hand. But remember to continue forward. Luck and fate twist and turn. The wheel continues to move so that we can continue to progress. We're at the bottom of the wheel now, so we can get back to the top, because when we get back to the top, we're going to be in a whole new place, in a whole new situation. It's going to be a brand new world ahead of us. We've got a lot going on. Indulge in the sweet, quiet moments while you have them. Remember that all of life is a circle. We sway, we rock, we move, we change, we grow. Bad things are going to happen. Bad energies are going to come. That doesn't always have to mean complete and utter desolation. That can bring you new hope and new life. It could simply be clearing a space. Thank you, Scorpios, and have a fantastic full moon.